How many times have you passed an opportunity to speak in front of your colleagues and present your work? Or how many times you have asked a colleague to lead a project because you were afraid that you would have to do a lot of presentations and public speaking or speaking in front of your colleagues, team, or maybe other shareholders? If the answer is too many times, then maybe this video is for you. Hi, I'm Vassia, I'm a psychologist, and this month specifically, I'm talking a lot about anxiety. And in this video, I want to focus on the public speaking anxiety. And I want to focus there because I've also been there, done that. I've also suffered. I've also felt uncomfortable, or I've experienced this nerve-wracking, actually, anxiety. And I want to go through that together with you and understand it better, but also conclude this video with some tips, what you can do differently next time, so that you can start becoming more friends with this public speaking endeavor that you want to jump in, but also not only feeling more comfortable, but coping with any unsettling emotions that will come up while you are trying to cope with that. And I'm saying that because don't think that you will just speak with a coach or listen to this video and suddenly you will be a master in public speaking. This is a process. It takes some time until we feel comfortable. And of course, it takes a lot of trial and error. What I want you to remember here is that nobody is born a natural speaker. Somebody has trained early on in their lives, somebody has been around people who modeled public speaking and speaking with confidence, and some people haven't. So it's about our experience and the exposure we have had in our life in speaking. And some people feel more comfortable and some people don't, but it's all a matter of practice. And when I say it's a matter of practice, I want to emphasize the fact that practicing means that you go from 0 to 1, and 1 you go to 3, and to 4, and to 5. And you don't go from 0 to 100. Let's be realistic here. Let's not be perfectionists, because we know about perfectionists and how they idealize progress. We're going to be bad at it at the beginning, but then slowly, we're going to grow into that, and we're going to be more confident and better and more skillful in the speaking opportunities. I've also started with making videos years ago, and when I see these videos now, I just cringe. I don't like seeing myself. And probably I'm going to feel the same in 5 years from now. I'm going to see the video of today and I'm going to be like, oh my God, so many mistakes, such uncomfortable video. So it's normal, right? So what do I mean with, first of all, public speaking anxiety? This is when even the thought of speaking in front of other people gives you chills. Your heart starts beating rapidly. You feel nervous. Maybe you're even sweating and your palms are sweating, or your forehead. Just the thought. We haven't even been in this speaking event. Just the thought of speaking in front of other people and having their eyes and ears locked on you, and having this huge responsibility on your shoulders to entertain them or to educate them, or to engage with them, and it feels like a huge responsibility. Even just the thought gives you butterflies in your stomach, and you feel all these symptoms arising. Another thing that we are afraid when we are experiencing public speaking anxiety is that, what if my mind goes blank? And it is possible that your mind will go blank because you're experiencing anxiety. And as I said many times, when we are into this anxiety, our prefrontal cortex doesn't work. We cannot make good decisions. We cannot think clearly. It's very possible that your mind will go blank. You will not be able to find words in the midst of your talk. This is what you're afraid of. And all these are natural, normal responses when we are on the spotlight. Unfortunately, our brain at that moment thinks in like the primitive way that we are in the midst of a huge danger. We're going to be eaten by a lion. This is coming from the prehistoric age, and that's why our limbic system is activated. What we need to do is actually to deactivate it. That's what we need to do. Here's the key, how we can convince our body, our brain, that it's okay. I got it. It's okay. You don't need to think that it's going to be a disaster, even though it may be. We don't know that, but you don't need to preempt this. So what do we do in order to cope with this anxiety? And as I said before, it can be an anxiety that can cripple in you even before the speaking event or during the speaking event. And all these symptoms, they just make it even worse because you're focusing on the symptoms instead of thinking clearly and focusing on your presentation or whatever useful and valuable you are there to share with other people. So first of all, as we said, we need to convince our brain that I am safe. It's okay. And what helps with that is mindful breathing. Go back to your body and focus on breathing. Breathe normally. Inhale courage and exhale doubt. That's what you're doing. You are bringing this calmness in your system by just breathing. So start doing that not only during the presentation, but even before you step on the stage, but also before that, way before that, when you're practicing in a presentation, closing your eyes, taking a few deliberate deep breaths, and just filling your lungs with air and then release it and reminding yourself, I am safe, it's okay. And it doesn't mean it's going to be okay, but whatever happens, I am okay, I am safe. So your brain and your body needs to start listening to you. You are taking control when you're doing that. Another thing that helps a lot is embracing imperfection. What do we mean with that? We mean that the inner critic is becoming very loud when we are being in front of other people, when we are exposed, when we are under the public eye and people see us, our colleagues, people we like, we appreciate, we respect. Our inner critic becomes loud and says mean stuff. Don't mess it up. People will laugh at you. You are ridiculous. You're going to be a failure. Look what you're doing here. This is way worse than you have imagined. This is our inner critic yelling inside our head. So we need something to disarm this inner critic and saying to yourself words such as, oh no, I'm perfect here, or no, I'm nailing it here. Maybe it's not going to work. Yeah, because of course you're having a little panic and you're not giving your best self at that specific moment because of the anxiety. So what helps is just embrace imperfection. And by embracing imperfection means I'm being authentic here. I'm having a moment here, and that's okay. I'm not being perfect. I know, and it's going to be okay. Know your value, know your worth. I'm sharing something which is important, and that's why probably I'm having an anxiety attack at the moment, and that's why I'm scared at the moment. Embrace the fact that you're giving your best, even though it's not the best, but it's your best at that moment. Embrace the fact that even though you're sweating, even though you forgot your words, it's okay. Make a joke around it, engage with the people. Just be transparent and saying to them, oh my God, what happened to me here? I am completely, my mind is completely blank. Excuse me, give me a moment. I will get back to my thoughts. And allow people to connect with your human. Sometimes we're being even more likable and lovable just because we are real, just real and authentic. Another thing that you can do, of course, is practice as much as possible. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. And it's not only because you need to remember your words, but because you're practicing in speaking in front of other people, because you're practicing in creating confidence in you. You're visualizing how it will be at that moment, even though you're just in your living room and then you're practicing your words. You're becoming more familiar with how you look like. So it would be nice if you record yourself or if you do that in front of a mirror so that you become familiar with seeing yourself, becoming friends and familiar with how you look. And of course, becoming familiar with being compassionate with yourself. Even though you make a mistake, you don't stop the rehearsal. You do that again. It's okay. We made a mistake. Let's go back. Another thing that you can try is shift the focus. What happens when we are struggling with this anxiety, either before a presentation or during a speaking opportunity, is that we suddenly focus on how we look like. oh my God, I'm being ashamed, I'm being humiliated, everybody's looking at me, and oh, I'm the worst. So shift the focus. Instead of focusing on you, focus on what you're doing at that moment. Focus on your audience and how they all came there to listen to you because you have something valuable for them. Focus on the thing that you're sharing, something that is impacting their lives or impacting the future of your company or whatever is the opportunity. You're shifting the focus, but at the same time, you're changing the narrative in your head. You're not being just a fool of yourself there. You are focusing on the impact you're making. You are spreading energy. You are on the spotlight, but for a good reason. Practice shifting the focus and saying all the nice things that you're offering to your audience just because you're there. Does it help? Remember, breathing, embracing imperfection, rehearse, and shifting the focus. All right, let's try with that. Let me know which one feels more helpful for you at this moment. Let's focus on changing this anxiety into I don't know, just being human. Yeah, remember, we said it before. You're experiencing anxiety because this is important for you, because you care. If you didn't care, you would just go out there and just be normal and say whatever comes out of your mouth, and you wouldn't care whether it's right or wrong or how people feel about it. But just because you care so much, that's why you're experiencing this anxiety. It's a process. It's going to take some time, but it's only going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 until you reach 100. It doesn't go from 0 to 100. Nobody's born a natural speaker. Embrace the nerves, embrace, the palm sweating, find your voice, find your authentic self, and just go on the stage and spread some magic. Thank you for being here. Take good care of yourself.